Do you guys remember 101 Dalmatians? Well, probably everyone knows 101 Dalmatians, at least in concept. It's kinda strange, but as far as the animated Disney canon goes, it's just an alright movie. Pretty cute, but overall nothing to write home about. Well, it still got a live action remake 20 years before it was cool, which in return got a sequel a couple of years later. And in between there was a pretty alright TV series. And then there was this direct-to-DVD sequel in 2003, I think, but I never watched that one. But lately I'm actually kinda obsessed with this franchise. You know why? Well, let me introduce to you 101 Dalmatian Street, a loose sequel to the original movie, as in it doesn't really have anything to do with it, that takes place in modern day London. So yeah, these are not the 101 Dalmatians you know, though according to the producers at least the mother of the pack is a descendant of the original ones. Not that it really matters, because so far the show made more references to other Disney movies than the one it is based on. In any case, 101 Dalmatian Street is mostly about Dylan and Dolly, the two eldest puppies of the bunch, who are tasked with keeping an eye on their 97 siblings while their parents are away. They have no human supervisor and just kinda live on their own. They have access to some neat tech that makes it easier for dogs to live in a human world. Why they live on their own has so far not been explained in the show itself, but according to Wikipedia, this is because their owner is an eccentric billionaire named after the original writer of the 101 Dalmatian novel, who left them his house and went to live on an island. On the surface level, the premise of the show sounds a bit like The Loud House, only with puppies and turned up to 101. I'm not quite sure how well this comparison holds up, however, as I only watched like 2 or 3 episodes of Loud House, and I'm simply not that interested in watching it. I think I would be more interested if it was about puppies though. The first season is supposed to have 20-22 minutes episodes, but it appears that it is more like 40-11 minutes episodes. You know the drill. At the time of writing this, the show has only premiered in some European countries, most notably the UK, as the show is actually produced there, and Germany, which showed a bunch of episodes ahead of time. For once I actually sat down and watched German television. In any case, judging by the 18 episodes I have watched so far, you don't really watch the show for some deep plot or anything like that. It's about 99 cute puppies having wacky adventures in London while mom and dad are away. All episodes so far have been rather self-contained, with not much continuity going on other than so far no contradictions. And that's okay. Not every cartoon nowadays needs a season-long myth arc, especially if you screw it up as badly as Star Wars: The Forces of Evil. More on that in a different video. That being said, the show might have something in that regard anyway. The first 2-part episode, The Nose Shop, and 2 parts meaning that this was a full 22 minutes episode split into 2 parts, had a bit of a cliffhanger at the end. A cat returning to his owner who seems oddly interested in Dalmatians. Now, the cast list for this show also includes a character named Hunter DeVille, and I would just guess that he is the guy we see at the end of that episode. And considering the name, it is more than likely that he's related to Cruella in some way. So I guess there might be a bit of a plot going on after all, though at the moment I don't expect a great payoff to this until the season finale. Still, in the end it's supposed to be a fun show about cute puppies having fun adventures. So if you don't watch the show for the storyline, what do you watch it for? Well, to put it simply, it's just plain fun. The individual episodes are decently written comedy stories, and the whole anime society thing that is going on is actually rather creative. The Dalmatians often look down on humans a bit. This is perhaps best shown in the very first episode, which is about the Dalmatians getting themselves a human, and they basically regard them like their pet. Another thing that I consider somewhat amusing is how the dogs often try to talk to the humans, completely oblivious to the fact that they only hear random bark noises coming from them. And perhaps most importantly, this show has a very entertaining cast of characters. Again, the focus is on Dylan and Dolly. Dylan is the slightly nerdy one who tries to keep everything under control and is quick to freak out. His catchphrase is "Oh my dog, for Christ's sake," and Dolly is pretty much his opposite. An outgoing tomboy and adrenaline junkie who likes to slack off and loves to make fun of her strict bro. And for me personally, Dolly is the best reason to watch the show. I just kinda love everything about her. She has an adorable design, I like her personality, and she's always so so full of energy. It's just really fun to watch her, you know? But the supporting cast is not bad either. Most of the other Dalmatian puppies are basically just extras, but there are a couple of standouts that get more screen time. Dante is perhaps the most noteworthy one. I mean, his design already allows him to stick out. I wonder if it has anything to do with his devil trigger. He is a gloomy emo teen constantly obsessed with the end of the world, and thanks to good timing and visual display, he's just funny. He is also seemingly rather close to Dylan, which is surprisingly sweet to boot. Besides the Dalmatians, we also have a bunch of other fun characters like Clarissa, an upper class corgi who proves that you can even hate corgis. But that makes her fun as she is somewhat of a recurring villain. Then there's Fergus and his gang. I don't know where Fergus got his gold tooth from, but I appreciate that this show has a rather sly fox as a major recurring character. Pretty much every character is just the right way of quirky to be fun and memorable. Well, and then there's of course the animation. This show has a rather distinct look to it. The outlines of the characters seem a bit sketchy, and overall the look does manage to remind me of the original movie somewhat, even if the character designs are much different. Which is not a bad thing, mind you, cause I really love the designs. Again, in particular Dolly, but also pretty much everyone else. This show is full of creative and unique character designs, ignoring the fact that the majority of the Dalmatians share the same puppet, only with different spot markings. But those are just the background Dalmatians. Those who actually get something to do in an episode have a very distinct look to them, and not only the Dalmatians, everyone has a rather eye-catching design. But more importantly, the animation is pretty great too, full of energy, and everyone shows off a great variety of expressions. I can basically pick any episode and look for a frame of Dolly making a meme-worthy face. In any case, 101 Dalmatian Street is a fun show and I would recommend to look it up. As far as I know, they still haven't announced a release date for the United States yet, but maybe you find something online or you actually live in a country where the show's already airing, preferably the UK. In any case, you should keep an eye on it because I think we have something special here. But what about you? Have you heard of 101 Dalmatian Street before? Are you interested in it? Let me know in the comments below. I am Tricky Fox. Stay foxy.
Sly as a fox, you got me under your spell. But you know I'll never tell that I know you know so well. Sometimes you can